to win a cool million. It's the Caribbean Poker Adventure here on the World Poker Tour.
The World Poker Tour is a series of 17 international poker tournaments featuring the biggest games.
Well, there it is. That's an ace.
It's over. The greatest players and the largest payouts on the planet. In paradise, 6 players, $5.6 million. The sun will shine on $1 million payday tonight on the World Poker Tour.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bahamas. We're on Paradise Island at the spectacular Atlantis Resort, where $5.6 million is up for grabs in the WPT Caribbean Poker Adventure. I'm Mike Sexton.
And I'm Vince Van Patten. And Mike, how great is this? You know, while most poker players are usually grinding it out in the dark casino, the WPT has taken the action outside. We are in the sunshine, right smack dab in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. And I'll tell you something, the only thing that's going to be disappearing here today is the $1.3 million first prize going into somebody's pocket.
Well, we started out 4 days ago with 724 players who either qualified online or put up $7,800 to enter in hopes to take home that $1.3 million first prize. We're now down to our final 6 players.
This is like WPT's version of Robinson Crusoe, except with cards, drink girls, and 6 poker castaways fighting it out for survival.
Well, one guy that's not lost at a WPT final table is our chip leader, David Singer. And Vince, we just saw David a few weeks ago, remember, at Borgata, where he came in as the chip leader. Unfortunately for David, he went out 6th in that tournament. But tonight, I look for David to cross the finish line.
Okay, in second chip position from Waterloo, Canada, Steve Paul Ambrose. He's only 22 years old. He's been playing poker for a couple years, but he is someone to watch. Moving over to third chip position from Stockholm, Sweden, is Anders Henriksson. He's a professional poker player, got in this tournament through a satellite.
Starting out in fourth chip position today is Brooke Leiter from West Fargo, North Dakota. Brooke is a self-employed businessman, and he got into this tournament by winning a $62 satellite. What a parlay that would be for him. And Vince, break out the pacifiers, because the next 2 guys at this final table are 18 years old. The legal age that you can play poker here in Nassau. In 5th chip position with $794,000 in chips is Michael Higgins from Proctorville, Ohio. Michael's a student at Ohio State, and Vince, he and I got a lot in common. Same first name. We both started playing poker at a young age. We're both Buckeyes.
Okay, the other 18-year-old, you talk about short stack. He is down to his last $231,000. Ozzie Shake from Staten Island, New York. Will he become the first 18-year-old to take home over $1 million on the World Poker Tour? He's got his work cut out for him.
Boy Scouts playing for millions.
That's right.
The PokerStars.net Caribbean Poker Adventure is about to get underway.
Let's talk about the structure. The antes are going to be $2,000 each. The blinds are going to be $10,000 and $20,000.
What amazes me about this final table, Vince, is the youth that's sitting here. We've got 2 18-year-olds, a 22-year-old, a 24-year-old. That's incredible. They're going for this big prize money at that young age.
Well, online players up against real human beings for the first time. Let's get started. Action's going to be on Steve Paul Ambrose.
Steve is from Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
And he looks down at a wired pair of 7s on the very first hand. Not bad.
Well, he's starting out with $1.7 million in chips, and he's going to make it $65,000 to go.
Into the veteran of the table, David Singer. David's got Queen 9 and mucks it.
Round to Brooke Leiter, the guy from North Dakota. He's got Ace 10 offsuit, opts to lay it down.
All right. Michael Higgins with the button. King 6 throws it away, so just a couple more people to beat. Anders going out. And now Ozzie Shake, the short stack, looks down at his hand.
Oh, look at this, Vince. It's like a dream come true for this kid. You're in the big blind, you pick up 2 aces, a man's raised in front of you.
He's got the weapons of mass destruction on the very first hand. He's short stacked.
It's just exactly what he needs to happen here to double up early on to become a force at this table.
And there go in all his chips. What a dream come true for the short stack Ozzie Shake.
Now, Steve Paul Ambrose says, count his chips. This is the first hand. You would think that you would study and know the amount of chips that all your opponents have.
Well, he's the second chip leader at this point. He's got the middle pair. You know, I think it's a gimme call.
Well, he's getting about 2-to-1 odds on his money. He's still going to have well over $1.5 million left, even if he calls and loses this pot. So you're right, Vince. I can't imagine he's going to lay it down.
Can you drag in the 65?
Well, Ozzie, a former city champion wrestler, Right now, he's close to having his opponent pinned here, Vance. 2 aces against 2 sevens.
I'll tell you something, Ozzy has a great online reputation. All these guys know it.
That's 164 more.
You're right, Vance. He has a reputation of being very successful online. And if he's successful with these 2 aces against the 2 sevens, he's going to double up on hand number 1. A little over 3-1 favorite right now.
18-year-old up against the 22-year-old.
I call.
And he gets the call.
But Ozzy Shake is going to love it here. 2 aces versus 2 sevens.
Oh, and he clenches his fist. Ozzy Shake.
You can't do better than this, Vince. Get all your money in with 2 aces before the flop.
Nice hand.
First time in the history of the tour, man's picked up 2 aces and got all in on hand number 1. What a start this could be for Ozzy here if the 2 aces hold up.
The crowd loving this. Here we go with the flop.
There's no 7 dealer, please.
Oh, no! A 7 right on the flop. When you see Steve, you can't believe it. And Ozzy is in shock himself, Vince. Before the flop, he's a big favorite with the 2 aces. Now, he's about a 90% underdog. And remember, we saw Brooke fold an ace, which means he only has 1 out.
3 sevens for Steve Paul Ambrose.
Wow.
Here comes the turn. It's a 6. No good for Ozzy. Not going to get the diamond for the
Ace on the
runner.
river, please.
He's got to catch that case ace on the river, Vince, to stay alive in this tournament. Or Ozzy Shake is going to have a bad beat. He's going to be talking about the rest of his life.
This is just a total catastrophe, but there is 1 card coming up.
Let's see if he can do it. He needs to catch the lone ace left in the deck.
Didn't get it.
It's a 3. Well, that is unbelievable. Hand number 1, shot down, all in before the flop of 2 aces, out in 6th place.
First time ever on the World Poker Tour that a man has been knocked out on the very first hand. It is Ozzy Shake.
This 18-year-old with terrific composure.
Good game, guys. Good luck.
What a train wreck.
I mean, you know, you sit there, you just dream about picking up 2 aces. He picks them up, bam. They get shattered on the first deal.
That's what you call a bad beat.
Yes, that's a bad beat, and that's what happens in poker, and that's just how it happens.
Oh, he has had less play time than Rudy. He's the 6th place finisher. We are down to 5. More great action from the PokerStars.net Caribbean Poker Adventure.
Seat 6, Ozzy Shake.
I can't wait until the final table. I'm very excited.
Oh, 2 aces.
My strategy going into this final table is try to double up as soon as possible.
I call.
So I have a playable stack. There's no 7 dealer, please.
Oh! Ozzy Shake is out in 6th place.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, the PokerStars.net Caribbean Poker Adventure. And after the very first hand, we are down to 5.
Well, Vince, the crowd's still stunned by the outdraw that Steve Paul Ambrose just made. Knocked out a man who had 2 aces. Ozzy Shake, that's the 2nd time he's done that in this tournament, Vince. He was all in earlier with 2 queens against 2 aces, and he flopped quads to crack those aces. So he is on a roll.
Well, it was ugly there for Mr. Shake. And back to this hand, Anders Hendrickson quickly folding his hand. And back to our hero, Steve. This time he has 10-9 offsuit, and he's going to raise.
Well, why not, Vince? You can outdraw a man that's got 2 aces. You figure you can win on anything. He makes it 60,000 to go.
David quickly out. Around to Brooke Leiter. He's got a decent hand here. He's got a wired pair of 5s.
Some guys like to call with the 2-5. Some like to come over the top with a pair. Brooke is going to call.
And now Michael Higgins. In the big blind, he throws away his queen 3. So we have 2-way action, Steve versus Brooke. Pair of 5s versus 10-9. Here come the first 3.
Flop is ace, ace, 7 with 2 hearts.
And Brooke quickly checks his aces and 5s. Let's see if Steve continues this cock and bull story with just 10-9. Looks like he's getting some chips ready. Yep.
Yeah, it's not a big bet, though, Vince. Just 74,000 into a $150,000 pot.
A little tester. And now Brooke has got to think this through. He's going to say, hey, this guy raised before the flop. He's in late position. Does he have an ace? Does he have me beat? He believes he did. He throws it away.
Now, Vince, there's a case that many players would lead out with the pair when it come ace, ace, 7. Just hoping your opponent didn't have an ace in that spot. But he opted to check. Give Steve credit for making the bet. And right now, he is on a nice little roll.
You beat out a pair of aces. I mean, you got to feel it's fate. It's destiny. This is going to be your time.
Oh, you're right.
Going back down to the felt. Brooke Leiter this time with king 9 of hearts. Caps his cards.
He's under the gun, as we say, in first position.
60.
He's going to raise it, makes it 60,000 to go.
Now Michael Higgins, our other 18-year-old, he's got a mid-pair, pair of sevens.
Call.
Says, I'm going to call it.
Well, the Ohio State Buckeyes going to make the call with the 2 sevens.
Anders quickly folding, and now Steve wants to go for the hat trick 3 times in a row. He's got king 4 spades this time.
Lays his hand down.
David folding the Doyle Brunson 10 deuce, so two-way action. Brooke versus Michael, king 9 versus a pair of sevens.
Here comes the flop. The flop is queen 9-3 with 2 diamonds.
Brooke got a piece of that, got the pair of 9s, and he's first to act.
100,000.
He's going to bet 100,000.
He's going to bet with the 9s, and now Michael with his 7s.
Raise.
Wow, he says raise, Vance. That's amazing for an 18-year-old kid
300.
to raise like this when there's 2 overcards on the board and his opponent raised before the flop on top of it and bet on the flop.
That's going to make Brooke squirm here a bit. You raise before the flop. You catch second best pair.
Well, Vance, because of the WPT hole cam brought to you by Budweiser, we can see that Brooke has the best hand with the 2 9s. But when you're sitting at that table and your opponent raises you 200,000 more and you've got second pair, you're not liking it.
Oh, and he's got to lay the hand down, and right now Brooke is getting whipped around by the youngsters.
Vance, I don't blame Brooke for the way he played that hand. He raised before the flop. He bet on the flop. He simply got outplayed there. Give him credit.
Well, Brooke is 34 years old. You're going after over $1 million. I mean, when you're 34, that's a lot of money. But when you're 18, it's like, you know, who cares?
My name is Michael Higgins, and this is the first live tournament that I've ever played. After the first day, I believe I've gotten 10 times better. To win $1.36 million would be life-changing at this point, but hopefully in the near future it won't be that much money to me.
And right now, it is the youngsters that are moving the chips around and making it happen.
Well, action's going to be on Michael. He looks down at a 10-8 offsuit, lays it down.
Into Anders from Stockholm. Got Jack 6 of diamonds, wants no part of it, goes away.
Back around to Steve on the button with 5-4 offsuit, lays it down.
And now David Singer, the vet, queen deuce in the small blind, says, I'm going to call this. And Brooke Leiter with a junky little 4-3 has an option to go up, but says, no, I'm fine. So two-way action, 4-3 versus queen 2. Here's the flop.
Oh, a beautiful flop for Brooke. He's flopped 3 3s.
Yes, he has.
Action's on David.
Oh, and this is good for Brooke. He's seeing the man on the right betting into him when he flops a set.
Really bets 30,000 at this pot.
Oh, and look at that hesitation by Brooke. A little acting job there.
Brooke going into his Hollywood mode. You see David Singer glancing out the side of his eyes, watching every move that Brooke is making here.
Call.
Oh, he does an okie dokie, I call.
Yep, he's going to slow play the trips.
Nice work by Brooke. Here comes the turn card.
Oh, it's a 3. Well, Vance, I'll tell you one thing. He's not going to get outplayed this time.
David slows
He's
down.
got 4 of a kind.
Oh, David luckily checks. And now let's watch the performance of 34-year-old Brooke Leiter. He's got to check it. Nicely done.
I like that play too, Vince.
Got a trap here.
In case his opponent's going for a straight or a flush or anything.
River card. David, you don't want to hit anything here, believe me.
The 9 of spade comes off.
David is not going to fall into anything. He's checked once again.
Well, David Singer was the big chip leader at Borgata, ended up going out 6th in that spot. He came into this final table as the big chip leader. He made 1 stab at this pot. It looks like he's waving the flag now, Vince.
Oh, but look at the Brooke, and you know, just working his improv chops here.
Well, David knows the only hand he could beat is a possible straight draw, meaning if his opponent had like a 4-6 on the flop.
Now, usually strong means weak in poker, weak means strong. And now if you look at Brooke, you notice that he's acting like he's, you know, indecisive. He's trying to say, I'm not that strong. Please believe me, and please call everything I got.
80,000.
80,000.
Yes, 80,000. David has to go away because he has nothing. David said.